It's a beautiful morning. Welcome to Sports Talk here on Atlantic Television Network. My name is Ekpo Temple. On today's edition of the show, Nigerian Premier Football League, Nigeria Premier Basketball Final 8 kicks off in Port Harcourt. Kwadi Aruna unmoved in latest rankings, and in football, Super Eagles faces Benin Republic for AFCON ticket. Details of this and many more will be yours shortly after now. All right, welcome back from that break. We're just joining us. It's 8 a.m. Sports Talk this morning. Emmanuel Michael is in the studio. Mike, it's a beautiful morning. Welcome to the show.
Morning to you, Temple, and morning to our viewers out there.
All right, we'll start with the biggest news in Nigeria, and that is because the Nigerian Premier Basketball League, jump up starts commence this evening, and a whole lot already. It is a final 8, and Port Harcourt is already agog. 3 FIBA referees were listed, including Samuel Nuhu, Ikumola Afolabi, and Joyce Wando. Others include Damilola Lukman, Sojibomi, Ojimuyiwa, Idara Sambo, Etitos, Hosini, Musa Franklin Boniface, Mohammed Sharif, and Alimi Lai. The top referees have been invited. The teams are prepared. What more should we expect tonight or this evening?
A lot to expect. Away from the preparation of different teams out there, I think the fans as well need to take a look at their own aspect. What do they bring to the table as well in order to make the last 8 of this year's this season Nigerian Premier Basketball League more memorable and more fun. I think for me, we should also watch out to see how the fans of basketball will turn out this evening at Niger Street to actually watch the Final 8. These are some of the things to watch. Then again, we're going to see if other teams are equal to the task to actually upstage Rivers Hoopers, who have hitherto dominated the Nigerian Premier Basketball League in the last couple of years right now. You know, these are some of the things that we'll be hoping to see. We want to see a different narrative. We want to see a new thing. We want to see players breaking points record. We want to see teams, you know, emerging victorious with large, you know, point margin, because sometimes when you get to the continental stage, you need to work on your points margin, because it also helps you a lot. It's not about winning games, it's about the point margin, because you might meet a weaker team right here, you defeat them maybe 70 to 50 something. Then when you go to continental, you have more quality teams that scores higher. And if you are not scoring higher, it may serve as a boomerang against you when you get to continental level. So I'm hoping to see teams, you know, increase or improve on their points margin. Winning is good, but then winning in an extraordinary manner is key, because that keeps you, you know, on top as well, you know, to able to distinguish yourself among the rest of the team. So these are some of the things. I'm also hoping to see individual brilliance out there to showcase their talent, where we see players, you know, having as much as successful three-point guard out there, taking it, because these are some of the key elements in basketball. You need to take your three-point guard. You need to be very, very aware that also the rebound as well, you need to nick them in the ball, so as for you to improve your team and also improve on your personal skills as well. Because don't forget that many nations, they will be watching this one. Many teams, both home and abroad, they will be keeping a close tab on you. If you get to distinguish.
We are already in the city of Port Harcourt, and if you are in the city or close by neighboring states, you don't want to miss this for anything, because this is the biggest basketball showdown in 2024, and it is one of the final that climaxes the activities of basketball in 2024. So let's keep all eyes and encourage fans. If you're a viewer, you're in Port Harcourt, please make a time to go and enjoy some beautiful basketball experience in the city of Port Harcourt. All right, away from that, let's talk about the National Youth Games. We are president of Boxing Promoters Association of Nigeria. They call them the BPAN. Has praised the Lagos State government for rewarding the state's athletes to this year's National Youth Games in Asaba Delta State. Emadu, who was part of the top dignitaries at the State House in Ikeja for a state reception organized for the athletes, praised the initiative as a welcome development that should be sustained. The high point of the event was an announcement of a financial reward for the athletes by the Lagos State Deputy Governor Dr. Kadiri Obafemi Hamzat, representing Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu as the lead speaker. The number two citizens of the state revealed that the gold medalists would receive the sum of 200,000 naira, the silver medalists would get 150, and then the bronze medalists would pocket 100 respectively. The coaches would also receive 100,000 naira each for their contributions, and many more. Mike, giving back to those that have done the state proud, especially in boxing, look more like a Lagos State are trying to create something again from boxing as such, catching them young.
Yes, of course, and that is where the reward system comes in. Many times the sportsmen and women, when they go out there to achieve a lot of glory, bring back laurels for the states or even the country, you know, sometimes they are being treated with some form of levity in terms of the reward system. But I think for me it's the right way to go. You must also encourage them financially. It's not just good enough to give them a handshake or probably congratulating them after going out there to, you know, do the nation or the state proud. They come back without receiving any monetary, you know, encouragement. It dampens the morals of other athlete that will be even hoping or willing to toe that line. Why? Because they do not see it as lucrative. In other words, you can't put food on their table, because the whole essence of what we are hustling right here in this life is about making an ends meet and also living a very comfortable life with you and your family and all of that. So for me, I think it's the right channel for them to go out. The Lagos State setting the roadmap on trying to encourage athletes out there have done well for the state in order to encourage more athletes to give their best out there. And that is why they are doling out some financial reward for those of them that did pretty well in the national games right here in the country. So for me, I think it's a good one, and we must also encourage other states as well, to also toe this line, because it's going to go a whole long way in encouraging people that have different skills.
200,000, 150, 100. A lot of person will applaud the effort of the state, but is that lovely enough for a state like Lagos State?
Yeah, for me, I think it may not be good enough considering the downturn of the economy right now. 200,000, take that to the market. I think a bag of rice, what it is right now. 150,000, so I think for me, not good enough, but then at least it's better than doing something than doing nothing. There are other states who, some of their athletes also took part in the last, a game. They did pretty well. Some finished fourth, some finished fifth, some finished sixth, or even in the 10th position. Yeah, but then the state could not even give them any reward, financial reward in quote. They were just, congratulated and all of that, promise of taking care of their tuition fee or all of that. But at the end of it all, you see this thing watered down. Nobody cares. But for Lagos State to also keep their promise after months where this competition has come and gone, some of them were not even hoping to receive financial reward, because it's about 3-4 months down the line where the game was concluded. But then I think it's a good one, not a bad one at all. Like I said, taking a look at the economy, it's not good enough, 200,000 naira, but then I think it can also go a whole long way, in solving one or two needs. Maybe in their next outing, the governor or the state sport commissioner might also want to up that, prize money, so as to also encourage others, going forward.
Of course, we want to see our athletes go forward, especially in boxing, where we have very strong, cherished heritage, in that regard, and Lagos State doing the needful to boosting the activities of boxing and ensure that we drive forward to the next level. That is what we desire. All right, away from that, despite reaching the round of 16 in the World Table Tennis, Championship in Frankfurt, Germany, the Nigerian table tennis sensei Harimoto in the round of 32. 3-2 it ended in that encounter before he succumbed to the firepower of Ricardo Walter of Germany by the same scoreline. The International Table Tennis Federation released the latest rankings yesterday morning, and Aruna remained in the 21st position, or remained in the 25th position, and of course with 14,005 points. That's to say that he was the same way he went into that tournament, he remained there. And Egyptian star Omar Assar eventually overtook him to place 20th with 14,008 points. Michael, I look at this particular one, I'm wondering why the move. Omar Assar, yes, I don't think he did better than Aruna in this particular one, but I'm just wondering the indices or the measures behind this this changing guard.
I think for me, I'm also very, taken aback by, the ranking as was released. Reason being that Omar Assar was knocked out of the competition in the round of 32. Haruna Quadri got past the round of 32 to the round of 16, and in fact, he was able to defeat one of the favorites.
What number 5? And that's part of the reason why I'm wondering why. He's affected, or I don't know, maybe they have a better way.
So the yardstick to which they used to measure the ranking is still quite shrouded in a very sketchy form for me, because I can't possibly comprehend the reason why Omar Assar had to jump over Haruna Quadri, who was better ranked even before the game, before him. Then went out there. Umar Asa, not even progressing through the round of 30C. But Haruna Quadri made it to the round of 16, then defeated, one of the favorites, a player that is ranked, fifth in the world. So for me, I think that should have been able to accumulate some points for Haruna Quadri. And for me, I don't actually understand the yardstick to which this was used, but then again, it is what it is. Haruna Quadri still have an opportunity to also work on himself and possibly garner some more points. We still have competition coming forward that if he takes part in it and is able to do well, then I see him regaining back maybe a more better spot out there. Sitting as world number 21st right now, not good enough for the quality that he has displayed so far this season. Though you may want to say he has not had maybe a total impressive season, you may want to say, but then he's not done badly in some of the competition that he has also featured. So I think that is left in the hand of the world tennis that do the ranking. I don't know the coefficient, I don't know the yardstick, like I said, to which they use in evaluating this very one. But then, like I said, it is what it is. Let's take it by what it is, and we are hoping that maybe next time Haruna Quadri is going to go far, so that at least we don't have this headache of thinking on why he was not moved on the ranking. Rather, he was very static.
Very static, and he will have the opportunity to improve his rankings when the tournament trains move to Fukuoka in Japan next week. We wish him all the best. We hope that he can move a step further and maybe end the year as African #1. It is very important that he achieves that, so that he will prepare better next year. Talking tennis this morning, the Nigerian Tennis Federation (NTF) has approved the dates for the 35th edition of the Dala Hardcore Tennis Championship, scheduled to take place in Kano from tomorrow to 23rd of this month. The tournament director, Yusuf Dati, stated that the top 20 ranked men and 10 ranked ladies have been invited to participate in the main draw. The preliminary rounds will run from November 15th to 17th, while the main draw will commence on November 18th. This year's budget is projected to be higher due to rising prices, but organizers are optimistic about receiving support from main sponsors. The organizing committee will provide accommodation and feeding for national officers as well as players, and the Kano State Governor, Engineer Abba Kaba Yusuf, is expected to be a special guest of honor at the final and closing ceremony. So, Mike, Kano State trying to build something in tennis.
Yeah, very surprising. It's an uncombed area in the world of sport right here in this part of the country, where we don't pay much attention to this kind of sport. But it's quite surprising that Kano State is also trying to do something in that regard. I think it would be a great one if they continue in this manner in trying to develop the game. We need to see different states, not just Kano State, taking part actively in order to ensure that there is an even development of tennis right here in the country, so that we can also make our own mark, also create a niche for ourselves in Africa before we talk about making a mark in the world out there. But like I said, surprisingly, among every state that should be bidding to also improve the course of tennis right here in the country, Kano State is taking the lead right now. You could also recall that this is not the first time they are thinking about this kind of thing. They have done this, not the first time, not the second time. So I think if they maintain this consistency, probably in the future, we'll certainly get to see the result, where we'll begin to hear one or two players popping up from that angle, right from Kano State.
Popping up right from that angle, and let's see how far it goes. But we hope that Kano State leading out. And it's even more interesting, Mike, that these things are coming year end. It looks more like it's intentional. The Yuletide period comes with a lot of competition, but like we keep saying, it shouldn't just be a one-off thing.
Yeah, it shouldn't just be a one-off thing. Just because it is the Yuletide period, and people want to use it more like family get-together, where people who you know, base far and wide, come home, and they want to use it as a point of a rallying call to also bring family members together, old friends and all of that. More like a recreational stuff where we just come, enjoy ourselves, play and go away. No, it shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be one of things. It should actually be institutionalized that come this year, this is what we've planned to do, and this is the aim, this is the objective, and at the end of it all, you come to sit down and do a total appraisal. Did we actually achieve the aims and aspirations that was set out? Do we actually achieve the set goals? What are the set goals? What do we intend to gain? What do we project in the future? Why are we even doing this? These are some of the basic and salient questions, you know, that the organizers need to ask themselves, so that it wouldn't be a one-off thing, just like you said, or possibly just because of the Yuletide period, they want to use it as a means of trying to have fun. Sport is a money-spinning business. You know, it's gone beyond using it as a recreational activity where people just say, oh, it's been a while, I did some form of a little exercise, therefore let me take advantage of this just because I'm on break because of the Yuletide period. Let me just exercise, let me help myself and all that. So I think it should go beyond that. It should have a very big dream, a very big vision on what they want to achieve.
Very big vision on what they intend to achieve. I'm talking about other federations like the Table Tennis Federation in Nigeria. Let's talk more of professional tennis now, and Carlos Alcaraz overcame illness to defeat Andrei Rublev, the Russian, at the ATP final in Turin. 21-year-old Spaniard won 6-3, 7-6, a tie break of 10-8, despite cutting short his practice session on Tuesday after struggling with a chest complaint. Sporting a pink nasal strip to help his breathing, the third seed won 4 consecutive games to take the first set in 37 minutes with a double break of serve. He claimed a second in an epic tiebreak, hitting 33 winners overall. But the good thing is that he was able to, you know, get that particular one against, you know, a Russian Rublev. Bouncing back, that shows top of champion. But with the way he's going, it doesn't look very formidable for me. I'm talking about Alcaraz.
Yeah, he doesn't. He doesn't. And actually, we discussed extensively about Carlos Alcaraz form so far this season and all of that. I think for me, it's not been that same Carlos Alcaraz that everybody was tipping to be more like the poster boy of you know, ATP, knowing fully well that some of the big guns have also left the scene, remaining only Novak Djokovic. He was tipped to be the next big thing in the world of tennis, but then I feel for me, he's not been able to live up to that high hype, and it's very disappointing for this season. He hasn't won any major title so far this season. He's been struggling back and forth. You see that he picks up in the next game, and the next other game he drop in the standard and all of that. So for me, I think it has not been very, very convincing. But then it's a great one for him to bounce back, you know, also to clinch victory after, you know, that Sunday's defeat. And of course, after the his victory last night, he also showed some form of solidarity to Valencia. Of course, you know what actually took place out there, you know. So for me, I think it's a great one for him. But the big question is, can he be able to maintain this victory going forward? Can he actually build some form of momentum? Can he actually build some of, you know, some form of consistency going forward? These are some of the basic questions that he needs to answer while the competition progresses on.
Alcaraz winners face Alexander Zverev tomorrow in his final match of the round-robin group stage. Meanwhile, Rublev has now lost 6 consecutive matches at the ATP final in straight sets since reaching the semi-finals in 2022. Still talking tennis, organizer says the Billie Jean Cup will start today after a severe weather alert in southern Spain led to the opening tie between the host and Poland being postponed. The two nations were set to play in Malaga yesterday, but will now meet tomorrow. Japan's first round tie against Romania is set to go ahead today, with Slovakia against USA to follow. The International Tennis Federation (ITF) said their has been a thorough site inspection by technical and security teams and experts, as well as local authorities. Besides, the red weather alert would be lifted. The Billie Jean Cup is a 12 nations women's team event where the winner will be crowned world champion. It is taking place at the Palacio from the Deportes Jose Marial, with the final being contested on the 20th of this month, as next week. So all this is just a way of saying that, issues around there were climate change and challenges that bedevils competitions, and it looks like the Billie Jean competition, the Billie Jean championship is not excluded after all.
Yeah, but the organizers need to take cognizance of, the weather because of the controversial issue of the flood that took place out there in Spain, especially in the Valencia, Malaga region of Spain out there. So they are trading with caution not to also, kickstart the game. Then all of a sudden you see another heavy, rain or storm that is going to disrupt the competition and put people's life in danger, and that is why they are very careful. I think the astrologers, they are also monitoring the weather as well to see when it was very clear, and that is why they had to postpone it at some point in order to ensure that everything, talking about the weather, is very conducive, and safe before the organizers get to kick it off. So for me, I think life is very, very key first before you talk about every other thing, and that is why I am also commending the organizers. Putting the life of the people first is what matters.
Truly what matters, and of course the essence of the game is to enrich life, and the lives must be alive, must be, in good condition to watch some of the happenings in some of these events. That will be all in the first half of the show this morning. We're going to short break now. When we come back, we'll talk more football matters, starting with Rivers State. We have Finidi George. Is making some pep talks and motivational speeches ahead of their weekend encounter. This is Atlantic Television Sports Talk. Don't go anywhere. I'll be back after now. All right, welcome back from that break. It is the second part of the show, and of course, we'll talk football on this segment of the show. Mike is still in the building, and of course, a lot to talk about. Well, let's start from the Nigeria Premier Football League. We are Rivers United technical advisor Finidi George is very optimistic that his team will get back to winning ways again. The Pride of Rivers are winless in their last 3 fixtures of the league. This is more like an assurance that they will bounce back, and I don't have that. I don't have any doubt. Mike, do you?
For me, I think it's beyond being optimistic. You need to work it out there. You know, the game of football, about 20 teams are also competing for the same prize that you are going for. You don't expect these 20 teams not to be optimistic as well. They are also optimistic about their chances of winning games. And so you being optimistic without doing the needful, will it actually yield the needed result? I do not think so. But then I think it is also good to also have that positive mindset going forward. But then you need to set out your objective and goal. How do you intend to achieve them? And are you working towards achieving them? Are you trying to also, you know, rejig the squad, maybe more like try to bring the players together, try to find a new thing in order to bond the players? And what are the things that you've learned from this, your last defeat, the last 2 defeats? What are the mistakes that you need to correct? These are some of the things that he should do. And then being optimistic as well can also help. But then I think we should do the basic first. The basic is find out where, you know, it has gone wrong for you in the last 3 games that you are finding it very difficult to get positive results. Then build on the momentum of trying to also gain back that winning mentality, because, you know, losing games has a way of trying to affect players, you know, mentally. But then when you are winning, there is the winning mentality that comes with the players as well, that whenever they are heading into any games out there, that positive vibe, that winning mentality will also help them to go out there and do their best. But when you are not winning games, then the mentality as well will be changed.
I'm sure that that was a very tough fight yesterday for Edo Queens.
Yeah, for me, I think Edo Queens, I was very disappointed seeing them getting a draw in that very game where they were supposed to pick all 3 points, and at least to assure themselves of going to the next stage. As it is right now, they're in a very difficult situation. Taking a look at it, you know, mathematically, you may want to say they are still seated at the top out there, but then you take a look at the last game that they will be playing. It's a very difficult one, and they stand the chance of being eliminated in the competition at this stage. You know why? Mamelodi Sundowns, they are the defending champion, and of course they will be, you know, squaring up against Edo Queen in the last game. Edo Queen, for me, needed to get that 3 points against Massa. Don't forget, Edo Queen tops the group with 4 points. Maybe on goal difference. The South Africans, talking about Mamelodi Sundowns, they are on 4 points as well. I mean, on 3 points, if I'm not mistaken. Then Massa on 4 points. CBS is the only whooping team. Now, this whooping team, being CBS, is going to come up against Massa that game has 4 points. Now, it is very, very easy to predict that Massa might possibly defeat CBS, which is very likely. Giving them 7 points, they will qualify. Then Edo Queen meeting the defending champion in Mamelodi Sundowns, it could be very tricky. They might not win that game, and if Mamelodi Sundowns get to defeat Edo Queen, it means that Edo Queen is eliminated. And you know, the CBS as well will be eliminated. So for me, I think Edo Queen is a very, very precarious situation as it is right now. But then they need to do everything possible in this their last game against Mamelodi Sundowns not to lose that game. In fact, the best that they need in that game is possibly maybe a draw. Then maybe we got to take a look at the, you know, goal margin. That is the only thing that is going to set them free to continue. But if they lose that game, then it is all done and dusted for them. But like I said, I'm very disappointed with the outcome of the game yesterday, because if they have gotten all 3 points yesterday, I think we shouldn't be talking about you know, whether they are going to progress through, or this fear of whether, you know, will it be Edo Queen that is going to go through. Their last game would have been more like a jamboree. You know, if they had gotten all 3 points last.
I mean, they will pull the chestnut out of fire in the last game, knowing fully well that it's a make or mark game for them moving forward, and they need to pick that, at least get a draw to be sure of qualification, you know, to the next round. But let's move away from that now, and let's talk about other interesting matters in the league. And reigning African vice champion Nigeria will qualify for the 35th African Cup of Nations final tournament if they overcome the Cheetahs of Benin Republic in the Africa Cup of Nations qualifying campaign encounter in Abidjan today. Mike, that game finally comes to play, and a lot of the focus will be on this game and how the Super Eagles can maneuver against their former coach Kenneth Rowe and his men.
I think it's a game that